Hello, my name is Sasha Gupta. I am a senior at Wheeler High School in Marietta, Georgia, and I just want to say I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to speak with you today. But before I get into my Project Green Challenge journey, I wanted to take you guys back to where I think my journey towards environmental stewardship really began. From a young age, I have always been obsessed with nature and wildlife. I would watch Ocean Mysteries with Jeff Corwin every Saturday, and I spent countless hours wading in local creeks and participating in events with nature centers. I was the person who moved worms off the pavement and picked up trash in parking lots because I wanted our oceans and animals to be safe. While I didn't yet understand the science behind everything, I understood the wonder I felt every time I stepped outside into nature. And I understood that the world around me needed care. I wanted to protect the environment and conserve the things that make it so special. And for as long as I can remember, caring about the environment has become a significant part of what makes me, me. But as I got older, something shifted. I realized that the problems I cared about were no longer distant or abstract. I began to see waste, pollution, and environmental harm not as big global issues somewhere out there, but as things unfolding right in front of me. And ultimately, that shift from curiosity to responsibility is what brought me to Project Green Challenge. As I entered the challenge, I expected a month of learning, but what I didn't expect was how deeply it would reshape the way I think about environmental action. Project Green Challenge pushed me to examine the connections between my everyday choices and the systems behind them. It made me more aware, not just of what I was doing, but why it mattered. Some days were uncomfortable and other days meaningful because they made me pause and reflect on my habits. Before this month, I cared deeply about the environment, but PGC was able to transform that care into purpose and give it direction. It helped me understand the issues that resonate with me, specifically food waste, an issue that has always stuck out to me. Being able to learn about topics I am interested in every day helped me channel my passion into something meaningful. Project Green Challenge connected me with people who reminded me that I am part of a bigger global community of young people who are just as determined, just as hopeful, and just as stubborn as me. But most of all, Project Green Challenge shifted my mindset. From feeling overwhelmed by the scale of environmental problems to feeling empowered by what is possible when we take consistent action. It helped me see myself as someone capable of encouraging and creating real change. And with this new mindset, I created a climate action project targeted towards reducing food waste that can directly help my community. Before I get into my project, I wanted to share some pretty jarring statistics about food waste. According to the USDA, 30 to 40% of the United States food supply is wasted each year, and globally about 1.3 billion tons of food is lost. When this produce is sent to landfills, it releases methane, a greenhouse gas that the EPA states is being 28 times more damaging than carbon dioxide. And in my state, 1 in 8 Georgians is living with food insecurity, including 1 in 6 children. And this data is from the Georgia General Assembly and the Atlanta Community Food Bank. After learning just how much food is wasted before it even reaches someone's plate, I was inspired to create Perfectly Imperfect, a student-led initiative designed to rescue cosmetically imperfect but completely edible produce from being thrown away and redirect it back into the community. So many fruits and vegetables are discarded not because they're unsafe to eat, but because they're the wrong shape, size, or color. This project works through surveying farmers and vendors to obtain data about their food operations. Imperfect produce is then collected from these local farms through a streamlined process. That produce is then donated directly to partner food banks and Title I schools like the one I attend. Every bag includes a small educational card sharing messages about why imperfect produce matters and recipe ideas. Perfectly Imperfect works to reduce waste, increase access to healthy food, and shift public perception of what good food looks like. It also empowers students to take leadership in sustainable food systems, giving them real-world experience in environmental action and community building. Moving forward, the goal of this project is to redistribute 200 pounds of produce in the first 5 months by working with 3 farms and at least 1 local farm, or 3 farmers markets and 1 local farm. I want this project to serve at least 50 underserved families and build an organization of at least 10 to 15 student volunteers. Lastly, Perfectly Imperfect plans to shift public perception of imperfect produce by collecting digital surveys, aiming for at least 75% of participants to report a more positive view. By stepping into this work, my hope is to continue growing the skills and perspective I need to advocate for sustainability and food justice in a real and lasting way. I also hope it creates space for others to step in. My vision is for more students to feel empowered to take action. And beyond the school, I hope this work strengthens the community I grew up in. By increasing access to healthy produce and normalizing ugly fruits and vegetables, I want to make it easier for families and students to eat well. I want to end on what I think is one of the most famous environmental quotes. Robert Swan, a conservationist, said, "The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it." And ultimately, I hope my efforts now and in the future make a difference so that future generations are able to experience the same wonder and excitement about the environment I felt all those years ago and still do today. Thank you so much for listening.